Welcome back, Nerd Squad. I hope you have been enjoying these newest mutants lists because we have another one coming your way. This time I've opened it up to include some mutants from the early 2000s as well as the 2010s. 2010s. That sounds so weird to say. Today we'll be taking a look at a variety of mutants. Some are super powerful, some are super important in regards to story, some are super cute, and others are just super tragic. But basically they're all super, and all the things that you could possibly love about mutants. A little bit of everything for you today as we count down the top 10 newest mutants, part 3. That's right, so if you enjoyed this list, be sure to go back and check out our part 1 and 2 if you haven't already. I love mutants and I love talking about them, and if you love mutants as well, show some love by giving this video a thumbs up. Alright, let's do some talking and get counting. Number 10. Kid Omega. Kid Omega, aka Quentin Quire, has also been described as an Omega level telepath and telekinetic before. He joined up with the Xavier Institute later in the new X-Men series in issue 134. Quickly, Quentin became a prized student of Xavier's, who saw within him a great potential, as brilliant and as talented as he was. However, over time and with the revelation that he had been adopted, he became more rebellious and egotistical. He questioned Professor X and the professor's dream for the world, for humans and mutant kind to coexist in harmony. He began using the mutant drug Kick and created a gang called the Omega Gang, which set out attacking humans. Eventually he was beaten down by the Stepford Cuckoos and he reformed, though he would continue to be known for having a bit of an attitude and a rebellious streak. But hey, isn't that why we love him? Or is that why we hate him? I don't know. You tell me. You be the judge. Quentin Quire, love or hate? Number 9. Prodigy. Prodigy is David Elaine, a mutant who is often associated with the X-Men and who attended the Xavier Institute. He came to the famous mutant school after trying to hide his powers. David has always been a smart kid, but he started noticing one day that he knew things that he simply just couldn't have known, and that he didn't remember learning. It turned out that David had been telepathically absorbing knowledge and skill sets from the minds of those around him. Feeling bad about his ability, like it gave him an unfair edge and meant he was kind of cheating, he sought to hide it and doubled down on studying to improve his knowledge naturally. Unfortunately, the mutant hate group Purity ended up uncovering his secret and outing him as a mutant, causing him to turn to the Xavier Institute. He would lose his abilities on M-Day, but still remain a valuable hero with all of the knowledge he retained later becoming fully accessible to him again. Being a mutant with studious telepathic abilities, I also love that he was originally depicted as needing glasses. Though of course in a land of magic and superpowers, he was later cured of his need for corrective lenses by mutant Elixir. Number 8. Elixir. Josh Foley is an Omega level mutant. He found himself at the Xavier Institute after being rejected by his friends and his family because of his mutant status. Sad face. Originally he was part of the anti-mutant group, the Reavers, but discovered during a fight with some mutant students that he actually was a mutant himself with healing abilities, which he used to heal one of the fellow Reavers who was injured in the fight. He tried to hide his powers as long as he could, but eventually he got found out and outed. His powers allow him to manipulate the biological structure of organic matter within a certain proximity to him. He can use these powers to heal or to harm others, and is also able to sense one's life energy, and even transfer life energy from one being to another. Force heal ability. Most recently we saw him in the House of X as a member of the Five, a group of mutants whose powers when joined together allow them to resurrect other fallen mutants. He made his first appearance in New Mutants Volume 2. Number 7. Abigail Brand. Abigail Brand was created by John Cassidy and Joss Whedon, and made her comic book debut in Astonishing X-Men Volume 3. She is a no-nonsense badass who is half mutant and half alien. One of the first to show us that even those with alien heritage can also be mutant too. Brand is best known in affiliation with SWORD, a division of S.H.I.E.L.D. that seeks to guard the world against and deal with extraterrestrial threats. SWORD stands for Sentient World Observation and Response Department, in case you didn't know. And Brand serves as the commander of the organization, the head of the organization if you will. Her mutant power is contact pyrokinesis. She can produce blue or red flames on her hands and use those to burn through almost anything or anyone that gets in her way. So watch out for Abigail Brand, she'll mess you up. Number 6. Oya. Despite making her first appearance in Uncanny X-Men, the original X-Men series, Idie still didn't end up joining the group until 2010. Yeah, that original series went on for a long time. Idie made her first appearance in issue 528. Idie's powers involve thermal manipulation. She can convert thermal energy into extreme hot or extreme cold, but she does need thermal energy in order to be able to do this. She can't just create flames or ice on her own. Idie was discovered by the X-Men through Cerebra. When her powers activated, she accidentally killed her family by burning down her village in Oyo State, Nigeria. The military showed up seeking to stop and destroy her, but Hope and Storm rescued her. Yay! Number 5. Broo. Oh my goodness, I love Broo so much. I love Broo too much. Calm down, Amanda. So Broo has to be one of the cutest mutants on this list, just FYI. Broo is a mutant and a member of the Brood alien race. Brood are typically born with an urge to kill and consume. They do not understand compassion and empathy in the same way that humans do. But Broo was born with compassion, which actually made him a mutant of the race, and also helped him to become independent, separating himself from the hive mind and developing his own sense of self with the ability to make his own decisions. While you might not think of compassion as a mutant ability, for the Brood it very much is. In fact, when young Brood are born with such mutations, they are usually deemed as a reject and killed. But due to the dwindling population of the Brood Queen allowed Broo to live. He studied at Jean Grey's mutant school for higher learning. And he wears a cute little suit. It's so cute. Never thought Brood could be as cute, but there you go. There you have it. Anything is possible if you believe. Number 4. Genesis. Genesis was created by Fantomex using the World, a research facility created by the Weapon Plus program, which had been shrunken down to portable size. Think Hank Pym's Lil Quantum Lab in the Ant-Man and the Wasp MCU film, but smaller than that. Genesis, aka Evan Sabanur, is the clone of young Apocalypse. Fantomex created Evan to help overthrow Angel, who had become Apocalypse's Horseman of Death and sought to replace him. Evan was raised to be basically a good version of Apocalypse, what the X-Men villain would be like as a hero, if you will. Evan has already shown that he possesses some of the original Apocalypse's powers and abilities, including super strength and durability, matter manipulation, and energy manipulation. And it is likely that as he grows, he will develop even more of his abilities. Probably. Possibly. We'll see what happens. Number 3. Sprite. Not to be confused with the Eternal Sprite, this Sprite is also known as Jiujing. In fact, she got her codename from Wolverine, who gave it to her in reference to not the Eternal Sprite, but to Kitty Pryde, who actually once went by the same codename. Upon having her mutant abilities manifest, Jia became determined to become the greatest X-Men ever, to honor her family and her country, China. Jia's mutant abilities are tied to her appearance. She has wings and resembles a fairy. Her skin is also durable and rock-like, and her body is somewhat morphable. Number 2. Shark Girl. Shark Girl was originally Ayer dos Santos, a young girl from Brazil who one day noticed an intense craving to eat fish. This was the first sign of her powers manifesting, which eventually resulted in her becoming a mutant were-shark. She ended up enrolling in the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, but takes weekends off to return to her home in Brazil. Her powers allow her to resemble a shark while maintaining her own mind and memories, and not resemble a shark to the point that, you know, she can't walk. She is more of a land shark usually, part humanoid, still able to stand and walk around on her legs and also use her hands. This form also enhances her physiology, giving her increased strength and speed and allowing her to breathe both underwater and on land. She was already a great swimmer, but her mutant powers enhance her ability even more. While in her shark form, however, she is also susceptible to going into a blood frenzy, like most sharks are occasionally known to do. So whatever you do, don't bleed around her. She might try to eat you. It's not her fault. Number 1. Amy. That's right, her name's just Amy. And we're going to finish it off with a sob story, to remind us of all the mutants we have both gained and lost over the years. Though with the 5 existing in House/Powers of X, maybe we'll get all those lost mutants back, eventually, at some point, unless things change. We'll see. Amy was a mutant who was trapped in the Red Skull's concentration camp on Genosha. She made her first appearance in Magneto Volume 3, issue number 9. Amy had illusion-based powers that became warped after suffering the horrors of the camp. When Magneto freed her, these powers started wreaking havoc. She ended up creating monsters and nightmares from others' fears and haunted psyches. Amy's powers allow her to create 3D constructs, and when these nightmarish constructs started to kill, it became apparent that either her or those whose nightmares she possessed needed to die in order to put a stop to her malfunctioning powers. Amy, being the angel that she is, decided to sacrifice herself, not finding much reason to live anyways, as tortured as she was. Poor Amy. Ugh, she didn't even last 10 issues. I just feel really bad for her. No. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. I hope you enjoyed this list. If you did, why not smash that subscribe and ring our bell so you can potentially enjoy some future lists as well. Potential, potential, potential. What are some of your favorite newest mutants? What has been your favorite mutant comic series since the early 2000s? What do you love most about stories involving mutants and the X-Men? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Heralds of Galactus. Cimmerian comments, "That wink though, Amanda knows what she's doing." Do I? I've been told that I am terrible at winking actually, but thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate my passable winking skills. There we go. Is that good? I feel like I blink when I wink, that's the problem really. Glitch King says, Dazzler is my favorite Herald. If she ever fully committed to training instead of just using her powers for concerts, she would become one of the most powerful mutants when it comes to destructive power. I would definitely agree that Dazzler is super underrated. She has a lot of power and a unique skill set to boot, but I feel like the conflict within her of just being herself versus being a hero as well is always such an interesting part of her character. Still, I hope we get to see more of her being a powerhouse as well, because you know, we know she can be. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feels shouted out in a future list. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube. Feeling bad about his ability, like it gave him an unfair edge and kind of made... Feeling bad about his ability, like it gave him an unfair edge and meant it was kind of... Feeling bad is about... Abigail Brand was created by Joss Cassidy and John Cassidy. Not everyone is Joss, Amanda, okay? Despite making her first appearance in Uncanny X-Men, the original X-Men series, IDA didn't...